All right, so welcome back to Wingman Wisdom, everybody. I am the RV Wingman. Thank you for joining me today. You know, I say that I read every comment that comes in on the videos, and I really do, and I read every email that I receive. Many of those emails have a similar kind of a tone. They say, "What do you think, Wingman?" You know, they're watching the stock market. It goes up 400 points, 500 points one day, and the next day, down 400 or 500 points. You hear all these things, these rumors about the economy, and many of these people that write to me are saying, "I am going to buy an RV this year, but I'm going to wait. I am going to wait until I can grind the brains out of those RV dealers who have been raping people for so long." Can you relate? There's a lot of people out there that are like that. So I wanted to find out, what does somebody inside the RV industry think about people like that? So join me now as I visit with my good friend Zach Rininger, who has been in the industry for, close to 2 decades, to get his view.
I've been doing this almost 20 years, and every year I hear the same story from people out there. "I'm just going to wait until this happens," or "I'm going to wait till this," and "I'm going to wait till that." And they always wait, and they never buy, and they never go spend the time with their family, and they never do these things. So on one hand, I think that person that's saying that is never actually going to buy no matter what. They're just trying to use that as an excuse of why they're waiting. We just see it all the time. On the other hand, I would tell you, our industry's seen this before. We've been around over 110 years now almost. Mm-hmm. And we've been through a lot, especially in the last 30 some years. It's from, I guess it's 40 some years now that I think about what year it is. We've seen everything from like the oil and gas crises, with the lines at the pump, from interest rates. There were interest rates at 24, 25% at one point in time that they're selling these RVs at. So we've seen the great recession, all these different things our industry has seen. And there's one thing about it is we're incredibly adaptable and we're very resilient. And that doesn't mean all of us. It doesn't mean that there might not be some attrition here and there, things falling off. I do not anticipate seeing any kind of, catastrophic, utter implosion of our industry. I think that the manufacturers have hit the brakes so hard on some of these lines that they have, and they're being so much more conservative that I just don't see it happening. And I mean, if you look at the balance sheet of some of the public companies, I mean, they have so much cash on hand. Our company, we're debt free. There's so many things that are just different this time around. And nobody knows either, right? Like, we don't know what's coming. We don't know what other black swan events they have. I just talked about that in a video last week too, of like, we don't know what happens in Ukraine. We don't know the overall macroeconomic picture and what happens. But I still don't see a scenario where everything just explodes. People still want to go camping. People want to be outside. People want to spend time with their families, and they want the freedom that our industry gives them. And so there will always be an industry here. Our numbers may not be what they used to for a period of time, but I've never been more bullish about our industry. When you look at the demographics and you look at the interest that we have out there, I don't see it happening, Alan. And I think that our industry would rather shut their plants down for 6 months than let it get to a point where we're just fire sailing everything out. Like, it doesn't make any sense financially to do it that way.
Right. And there's a lot of plants right now that most plants, I would think, are not operating at full capacity. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's the majority of them. I don't know if there is one that is at full capacity out there. Pretty much everybody is kind of, it's touch and go. And like, it'll, you get some traction and everything's going well. And then all of a sudden, maybe this group of dealers is hitting pause or whatever it might be, and you have to slow down again. It's you're managing not only dealer inventories, but our lot inventories at the factory. And with weather up there, with cold weather, snow, it turns into mud. There's only so much room. And so the wintertime, this time of year, there's actually less places for us to park them because the elements outside really shrink down the storage yards that we have. And so it actually puts more pressure on us this time of year. So I don't know. I think everything's going to be all right from that standpoint, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of brands that run full tilt this year. I think most will be doing either 3-4 days a week at the most, and then probably shutting down 1 week a month. until we dig out of that, 45, 55,000 unit extra excess inventory that we pumped out into the market.
In terms of quality of units, I've heard some people saying that the manufacturers are planning on taking this downtime, this slow time, to improve their quality, to try to get better help for when they do ramp back up. And then on the other side, I hear people saying, yeah, they said that all before, and it ain't never going to happen. What does Zach Rininger think? Or both?
Yeah, I think there's probably a little bit of both. I think that a lot of quality comes down to culture and having the right culture breeding a group of people that care and that sounds like cliche, right? But it actually matters more than most would realize. And then there has to be a strong enough desire, right? Like it's just like human psychology where the pain of not changing has to be greater than the pain of changing for them. And so when they realize that, God, if I don't change this, we're toast.
Right.
And I think I hope even that we're at that point with our industry, with our customers, with the feedback we've gotten. I think that COVID and the stuff that some of these people are putting out, I think that it shook enough people up at this point that they realize, okay, we actually can't keep just giving lip service on this. We actually have to get better about quality. I mean, it's been talked about for 10, 12 years in our industry that our quality. And there's so few that actually really want to do anything about it. So I think this period of time should shake up a lot of people. I think it'll put a little bit more emphasis on it. Now, the question is does the culture then kick in? Because motivation's only for so long for them to do it. It's like bad habits come back really quick. If things get better again, can they sustain it? Can they make it part of their ethos and who they are? And if that happens, then we're great. But otherwise, if my family was out there shopping right now, I would just tell them to tread lightly and you've got to be careful of what you buy and you got to do your homework, do your research. None of them are perfect. There's yet to be a perfect RV built. There never will. They're made by people, just like there's never a perfect automobile.
Right.
But I think our industry should make some gains on the quality side. I just hope it sticks.
Talk with me a little bit about I don't even know how big of a region you've got. I know your Texas is pretty much your home state, but what are the dealers saying? What are they seeing outside of Texas, or do you know?
Yeah, I've got 7 states kind of surrounding Texas, and there's a lot of optimism. The November and December really messed with a lot of people's heads because I'm telling you, it got quiet. And I guess it was probably holidays and just everything else going on probably hit the pause button.
And the plant's slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, we normally do that time of year, and so I think some of like the momentum, just the mojo out there is a little lacking. And so, but almost every dealer that I have as a client has told me that their January was better than their November, December combined. And so when I say and now this isn't saying like we're having record Januaries, it's like the greatest it's ever been. No, I think we're going to pace, depending on the region, 2017 to 2019 type numbers for a lot of these people. Now that's obviously barring any, like we said, like any other weird black swan event. Right. There's geopolitics being what it is. Like there's so much going on that who knows. But my dealers are pretty optimistic about it. They're all pretty resilient. Some of them don't like it right now. They don't like that they have to work harder and do some of this stuff. Like it's kind of like, ugh, we're back to this. I think they enjoyed how brisk business was during COVID, and I can't blame them on that side. But it's back to business.
So I guess nobody has a real crystal ball, and we will certainly all see what 2023 has in store for us as the months click away. But I thank Zach Rininger for being a part of today's video. And I interviewed Zach at length. I'm going to have him on many, many times over the coming weeks. He's such a wealth of information. Now, if you're thinking, I'm going to get a steal on a new RV. Steals, I don't think there's many of them out there. I really don't. Deals, here's where the deals are. 2022. Look for dealers who are sitting on some 2022 brand new models, but they're still sitting on some 2022 inventory. Those are the units that are deeply discounted. Some are below cost. Even some of my dealers, the RV dealers I trust, are sitting on some 2022 inventory that you won't believe the savings. I'm just telling you, check it out. Click on the word more. In the description below, you'll be able to see links to these dealers, find out what kind of inventory they have, look at their floor plans, and you'll be stunned. Compare the 2022 discounted price to what the 2023s are going for. You'll see that's where the deals are, in the 2022s that are still on the dealer lots. Let me know what you think. If you see any deals out there, steals out there, drop a comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Zach Rininger for being a part of today's video. I will talk to you soon. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, reminding you, be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.